The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by Next Generation Special Forces, being led by members of Foxhound. They're demanding that the government turn over the remains of Big Boss, and they say that if their demands are not met within 24 hours, they'll launch a nuclear weapon. You'll have two mission objectives. First, you're to rescue DARPA Chief Donald Anderson and the president of Armstech, Kenneth Baker. Both are being held as hostages. Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to make a nuclear strike and stop them if they do.
What's the insertion method?
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim. High-Tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mattis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter. And finally, in charge of them, Foxhound squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
The man with the same codename as you. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes. This is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
What's going on, fellas? This is Giga Space Blob, and welcome to my Let's Play of Metal Gear Solid. A very popular title among the Titan year of games, as I call it, the Titan year of gaming, 1998. This is among titles like... Oh! And of course, this is the first among the series that has been world-renowned, and the first one that was localized, actually. The original 2 games for the MSX weren't released until Metal Gear Solid 3 when they were bundled with it. And this is really one of the most, prominent games ever. This game was very ahead of its time for being all the way back in 1998. Incredible story, very immersive, and incredible characters all around. But let's not waste any time. Let's get right into this adventure of a lifetime. There's different difficulty levels, but we're just going to stick with normal. Just to be clear, I apologize if I suck a little bit. It has been quite a long time since I've played this game. But I have beaten it before.
I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Just as I expected. You'll have to take the elevator to the surface. But make sure nobody sees you. If you need to, contact me by codec. The frequency is 140.85. When you want to use the codec, push the select button. When we need to contact you, the codec will beep. When you hear that noise, press the select button. The codec's receiver directly stimulates the small bones of your ear. No one but you will be able to hear it.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
The very beginning of a legendary adventure with a legendary mercenary. First thing you want to do is drop into this water right here and pick up a ration. Rations are vital, and you want to collect literally every single one you find. They restore your life. Now, right off the bat, this game actually doesn't really... One thing I do like about this game is it makes you kind of learn yourself what to do. So you'll notice that it doesn't tell you about the map system up in the top right. You've got to figure that out for yourself.
What was that noise?
And right there, you're able to see just how smart some AIs can be in this game. Plus, that's extremely innovative. Like, you didn't see it there because he didn't go that far, but he also would have recognized my footsteps if he had gone further because I had stepped in the water. In addition to it making a noise, it made footsteps in my track, which resulted in, like here, you're going to see it here again. That made footsteps, and they can follow those footsteps, and that's something that's really cool. And something that I don't think a lot of games did back then, if any. And the opening credits continue to play out. That is a pretty cool thing, by the way. I do like when people do that. Or when I like when people do that, when games do that. Well, games are made by people, so I guess that makes sense in a way. Jeremy Blaustein. Even though that this is a forklift, and they can very clearly see through the window right here, I am in the shadows, and I am unseen. Actually, then again, you can't really see that much in the windows right there, so perhaps that's not the case. Opaque windows. How do you even see outside and drive the thing in the first place in that case? Ooh, my controller rumbly. Now here is a little bit tricky because you have to wait for just the right moment to get onto the elevator. Like right now. Now, in real life, you would easily be, like, loaded with lead, like, the moment you got on that elevator. So that's pretty, inaccurate with, real life. But then again, this isn't real life. You're playing a video game. And video games are meant to help you escape real life. And plus, this is one of those realistic fiction games. That's what I like to call them. Oxymoron, I know, but it really does make sense. And there he is. The one and only. Tactical espionage action. And just to be clear, most of this LP is probably going to be just watching the cutscenes, because that's a pretty well-known thing about Metal Gear, the franchise in general. It has long cutscenes. And it pretty much only gets... the length only gets worse and worse as the game progresses, or the franchise progresses. Because everyone knows how long Metal Gear Solid 4's cutscenes are. In fact, if I remember correctly, isn't the very last cutscene is like an hour long. But we get to that when we get to that. And that's in the future. But now is Shadow Moses.
It's Snake. I'm in front of the disposal facility.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
How's that sneaking suit working out?
I'm nice and dry, but it's a little hard to move.
Bear with it. It's designed to prevent hypothermia. This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy, I'm grateful. If it weren't for your suit and your shot, I would have turned into a popsicle out there.
An anti-freezing peptide, Snake. All of the genome soldiers in this exercise are using it.
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16s just took off from Galena and are headed your way. The terrorist radar should have already picked them up.
Behind D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed.
I should bring up that also the controller rumbles in various times in cutscenes. Like it's rumbling right now as the helicopter takes off. And I like that when games do that. It adds to the detail and the feel. It's like you're really there!
There are only 18 hours left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, he must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you two yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist. She designed your codec, as well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious. Well, I know I won't be bored for the next 18 hours.
Come on. I can't believe I'm being hit on by the famous Solid Snake. But I'm surprised. You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to learning about the man behind the legend. But first, let me explain about your Soliton radar system.
Snake's got more flirting courage
bright
than
dot
pretty
in the
much
middle is you,
89%
Snake.
of the men out
The
there.
red dots are your enemies, and the blue cone shape represents their field of vision.
Be careful, Snake. The genome soldiers have highly developed senses of hearing and vision due to their gene therapy. Make sure you don't let them see you.
Is seeing
First,
5
I
whole
want you
feet
to
in front of you
infiltrate
good
the disposal
vision?
site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you.
He should appear on your radar as a green dot.
Get whatever information you can from him about the terrorists. If he's alive, that is.
Then again, if the vision of the genome soldiers here had like the
Snake,
vision
your
that the
radar
soldiers
isn't
have
affected
in
by
the
the weather,
MGS1
but if it's
Snake
discovered by an
VR
enemy,
missions in
you
Metal
won't
Gear
be
Solid
able to
2,
use it.
you'd be screwed.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it in an area with strong harmonic resonance, so be careful.
We'll be monitoring your movements by radar, so contact us by codec anytime you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Seriously, Snake, we're here to back you up, so call if you need some information or advice.
I'm also in charge of your mission data. Contact me if you want me to record your current status. My frequency is 140.96. It's a dedicated frequency for saving data. Don't forget it.
Wink.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked.
Naked
you need to arm
Snake.
yourself with whatever weapons you can find.
I remember. First, I'm strip searched by Dr. Naomi here, and then all my weapons are taken away. Imagine yourself put in that position.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor. By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach acids.
Cigarettes? How are those going to help you?
You never know.
How does he even do that? Like, what is the scientific explanation? If there even is one.
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door and ask them to let me in. There's one sentry on the left and one on the right. They're armed with 5.56ers and pineapples.
Nice code names there, buddy. I especially like pineapples for grenades.
What about the air duct near the door?
Sleeping on the job!
There's a duct on the second floor.
I can't see it from here.
I'll let you decide the best COA. I'm counting on you, Snake.
So elaborating a little bit further on the controls, of course the directional pad, or control stick, depending on which version of the PlayStation you're playing on, lets you move. Circle lets you punch, but it also lets you do a variety of other things. Square is your weapon button, and triangle is your first-person view button. This will come in handy in a lot of different situations. But right now, we're just going to try to get through. So this searchlight you got to be careful for, because you got to get over to that other side, or you can also move over this way. But you do have to be careful, because there's guys, and this is a stealth mission, and anytime you see the balloon, the balloon shape up there, the balloon's tower defense shape, you want to get out of the way, because the moment you get spotted is when a bunch of people spot you, and then you're going to have trouble. But we got ourselves a weapon. A SOCOM pistol. And that is going to be useful in a number of ways. Which goes without saying, because that's a weapon, and you like weapons. Now, over here, you can try to do something risky. It goes without saying that these searchlights, if they catch you in them, will get alert phase. But if you run right through them as fast as you can and grab this, you can get some really helpful items. Alright, chaff grenades are things that you're going to be using pretty much the entire game.
A surveillance camera?
Not like I've seen countless of them in my previous journeys. Perhaps I'm just really an idiot from being in Alaska for 6 years. Anyways, chaff grenades knock out all of the surveillance cameras in the area, along with other electronics. However, your radar is among those that are knocked out, which means you want to be careful with using them. I have had plenty of times where I knock out the radar, and then I instantly get spotted because I get careless. And also the cameras also seem to have extremely bad range. But if you hear them make a little click sound effect, then that means they saw you and you're screwed. And of course you can go right under by doing this, going right up against the wall. But you have to be very careful with your timing. Woohoo! Hey, careful, buddy. That was close. You also can do certain methods to render the guards unconscious, but there's also plenty of risk of you accidentally getting spotted. Alright, now he's moving in the other direction. You want to be careful of who goes where. And if you go right up to the wall like that, you can do a corner view. And that is probably the best thing to do. And here's our entrance.
That base must have some kind of ventilation system to recirculate the air. There should be air ducts around there somewhere. They must need a lot of power to run the base. There's probably a diesel generator somewhere. And since generating electricity requires oxygen, there must be exhaust openings for that too. You're not gonna believe this, but they shot down the F-16s we were using as a diversion with a Hind D. Then we got a message from Liquid. He said if we try something like that again, he'll launch the nuke. Snake, hurry up and get in there. That Hind will be coming back soon.
Let's not waste any time and get in there. I'm not going to make any jokes about you-know-what with us being in vents. So, if you want that, sucks to be you.
Snake, this is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing here?
I quit being a drill instructor, so I moved out here for some peace and quiet. I'm in retirement, just like you. Once in a while, I still help train the Alaskan Scouts.
Passing on the skills to a new generation, huh?
Campbell told me about the situation here. I thought I might be of some use.
There's no one I'd rather have in a foxhole than you.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska longer than you, so call me if you have any questions about the flora or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80.
Keep this in mind, because there's a lot of other things that you can do that will be covered in the bonus episode. And I think I just went the wrong way. Oh no, here we go. And from here, you get a little peek into the actual area. Pressing triangle will let you go right up into it and let you take a little bit further. If we move further down this way, here we go, there it is. Take a look.
I moved the DARPA chief to the cell in the first floor basement.
What about the vent shaft cleaning?
They just opened the vent covers. They're about to start spraying for rats.
First floor basement ventilation shaft.
Shut those covers as soon as they're done spraying. Also, keep your eye on that woman in the cell. Don't get careless now.
Woman in the cell?
Had you actually have gotten spotted beforehand, there would have been another cutscene. But didn't show up there. And over here, there's also another area that's going to be important later. Got a bunch of cargo. So, vent crawling, it doesn't happen much throughout the game, but it's like wandering in the dark, and that's not fun, honestly. And especially with, if you have like a TV with poor lighting to the point where you literally can't see anything at all, this becomes absurd. Like right now, I've played this game so much, but even I still don't really know where to go. I'm gonna go ahead and cut ahead to when we get to where we're supposed to go, because this is gonna waste time dramatically. Well, that took a little bit of fumbling.
Press the action button to drop down.
You're going to want to remember what's the action button and what's the weapon button, because they say stuff like that all the time. The action button is circle. In later games it changes because of, you know, controller innovations.
Use the elevator to change floors. There should be a cargo elevator that you can take down somewhere around there. Try to find it.
Again, I would think that being in an elevator would get you easily caught. So right off the bat, we've got more cameras to worry about. I recommend using a chaff grenade anytime you get a chance. One thing that I also like doing is looking out over the area and taking a look and see just what I need to deal with. So what we're in right now is a tank hangar. And I can see that downstairs there's just one guard in my way that I've got to concern myself with. And that helps when figuring out where to go for when I use a chaff grenade. A guard that's on a lower level won't be able to see you if you're up on a higher level, because video game logic. There's a little something here I'm going to try to grab. More SOCOM bullets. Be careful. I guess I should bring this up as well. Another thing that you can do is you can punch something to distract the guards and get them off your track. However, this can backfire, and it has backfired for me a few times before. Because when you punch something and they stray from their path, they go right back to where they originally were the moment they get to their destination. But here, I'm going to close things off because we've been going for a little bit. So let's see what our first save is. Sure, let's put it in automatically because I'm forgetting the buttons.
You found out where the DARPA chief is. With his nanomachine transmitter, he should show up as a green dot on your radar when you get close. Try to find him. Come on, Snake, you can do it.